Welcome to the Avon Lake City Council chambers for tonight's meeting, the June 26th regular meeting of the City of Avon Lake Council. First thing we do is we'll start with the Pledge of Allegiance. Mr. Liskovic, if you could lead us in the pledge, please.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, it's time for the roll call. If the clerk would please call the roll.
Mrs. Fenderbosh?
Here.
Miss Gentry? Mrs. Goodwin?
Here.
Mr. Cos? Mr. Reynolds?
Here.
Mr. Shamir?
Here.
Mr. Smith?
Here.
Mayor Spetzel?
Here.
Law Director Ebert?
Here.
Finance Director Crossy? Public Works Director Liskovic?
Here. All right. Mr. Kaz had indicated that he would not be here tonight. Anyone have any objections to his attendance not being here? Additionally, Ms. Gentry indicated that she would not be able to attend. Any objections regarding her absence? All right, seeing none. The approval of the minutes from June 8th of 2026. Does anyone have any additions or corrections to those minutes? Yes, Mrs.
Yes,
Fenderbosh.
thank you. I've already spoken with the council clerk. There was one segment that was left out, and I think that she's corrected it digitally. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, then those minutes will be approved as presented. Any correspondence? Seeing none, we're on to public input. Any member of the audience wishing to come forward and speak only once, up to 5 minutes on any topic that they would like to. Come on up, sir.
Mike Sonobrnia, Avon Lake. I'll try to make this quick. Something came up today, and so I decided to bring microwaves to you. Where do they come from? A man by the name of Nikola Tesla years ago discovered that they were in our environment, but they were so loose, they're no threat to anything. So years later, the Nazis, they invented what was known as a Hitler box. We would call it a microwave oven. They informed Hitler that they found they could cook, heat up drinks, water, anything with microwaves. The first words out of Adolf Hitler's mouth were, "Is it safe for human consumption?" The answer was they would find out. So they took what they considered undesirables. They put them in good living conditions, cleaned them up, gave them doctors, nurses, counselors, everything to make their lives better. But they were only to eat and drink microwave cooking. They became very, very ill, and the doctors were ordered to save their lives no matter what. Well, they died. And then as the war ended and U.S. moved into what was known as West Germany, and the Soviets moved into what was known as East Germany, the Soviets discovered the documentation, and they took it back to Moscow. And the leader of the Soviet Union was Joseph Stalin. And the first words out of Joseph Stalin's mouth were, "Is it safe for human consumption?" So the Soviets duplicated the Nazi experiments, and they gave Joseph Stalin the results. Just as Adolf Hitler outlawed microwave cooking in Nazi Germany, the Soviet Union outlawed microwave cooking in the Soviet Union. Years later, the Soviets were going over, the United States spends money on defense. The United States spends money on health. How could they transfer more of the spending from defense to health? They came up with they said they knew the microwave oven. So during President Gerald Ford's term, they offered the United States a microwave oven. Our media called it a thaw in the Cold War relations between the United States and the Soviet Union. So the first words out of President Ford's mouth was, "Is it safe for human consumption?" Well, Big Pharma decided to band together and run those experiments. And they came up with, when they found the results, they were thrilled. They said, we're gonna make more money. That was the plan. Because what microwaves do is they destroy the vitamins and the nutrients in our foods and our drinks. And they alter the minerals so they're ineffective. Now the microwaves aren't gonna kill us, but the lack of vitamins and nutrients with the minerals altered so they're ineffective is going to cause more people to become ill, and more people are going to need vitamins and nutrients. Fortunately, our farmers replenish vitamins, minerals, and nutrients as they plant their crops, our fruits and our vegetables. But that is what happened. And in the 1970s, when Ford was president, we accepted from the Soviet Union the microwave ovens. I've gotten rid of my microwave oven quite some time ago. And I would recommend that people should know more about that. And because of what happened a couple days ago, I decided to change what I was going to talk about to microwaves. And let every one of you know it was a Soviet design that we would spend less money on defense and more money on health, because the vitamins and nutrients were missing and the minerals were ineffective. Well, I thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Anyone else wishing to come forward on any topics? Firefighter, paramedic, Eggett, come on up.
Aaron Eggett, 33383 Karen Drive, and a lieutenant with the fire department. I'm here today to speak on the assistant fire chief job description, just because it's first on the agenda. But aside from the titles and the numbers, same applies to the fire chief job description. Start by saying that I support fiscal responsibility, but I'd argue this proposed compensation package for the assistant chief is actually less fiscally conservative option. The true fiscal conservatism means spending wisely, not spending cheaply. A total compensation package that fails to attract qualified candidates will cost the city far more in the long run than a competitive one. The most glaring issue with this is subordinate pay problem. This isn't just an optics problem, it's an operational one. Leadership authority is undermined when those being led earn more than the person leading them. No private sector organization would accept this structure, and the city of Avon Lake shouldn't either. The proposed assistant fire chief salary tops out at $129,428 annually. Currently, the fire marshal base pay is $127,649 annually, and in about 6 months goes to $131,476. The current fire captain base pay is $123,332 annually, and goes to $127,033 and $27. When overtime is factored in, subordinates will routinely out-earn their supervisor. No well-run organizational structure leadership this way. Next, as Acting Chief Peters covered last week, the comparables are flawed. The salary survey used cities that are not true apples-to-apples comparisons. Obviously, even without emergency service knowledge, the comparison to Lorraine is ridiculous, but even seemingly comparable cities like Bay Village, as Mr. Schmier pointed out, is not truly comparable. They lack the industrial component, run about half the call volume, with about 70% of our staffing. Things like ALS transports, run volume, complexity, liability, and responsibility must be factored in. Also, just like corporate executives use stock options, many cities use things like pension pickup at 12.25% and vehicle allowance to supplement administrative salaries, which isn't easily accessible and often requires a public records request to obtain. If the benchmark is wrong, the number it produces is wrong. Low pay is not fiscally conservative. A weak salary range alone attracts a weaker candidate pool. If our captains look at this salary and see little reward for taking on far greater responsibility, they won't apply. A bad hire at the command level creates liability and safety risks. The cost of a failed hire exceeds any salary savings. Getting this right the first time is the fiscally conservative position. I propose that pension pickup is actually the more efficient use of public dollars than a straight salary increase, and it makes the compensation package significantly more attractive to qualified candidates. Consider a 5% differential over fire marshal plus pension pickup as opposed to the 15% differential. As an added bonus, you don't have to rewrite ordinance every year. Lastly, if the intent of all this is to hire from outside the department, I believe that would be a mistake. We don't want to be a stepping stone for someone chasing the next better offer. Avon Lake, as with any city, has distinct hazards. Between the lakeshore and the railroad tracks, we have Ford, Lubrizol, Avient, the water filtration and reclamation facilities, a high voltage transmission substation, and high occupancy buildings. An internal candidate already knows every one of them. That knowledge can't be purchased or transferred quickly to an outside hire. In closing, a competitive compensation package doesn't contradict fiscal responsibility. It is fiscal responsibility. We want the best possible leaders for this department. Let's make sure the compensation reflects that and gives us a real shot at hiring from within. I'm asking you to vote no on the proposed job descriptions. Take the time to iron out the details on the front end instead of relying on vague language like may need to adjust. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. All right, anyone else wishing to come forward? Come on forward, Chief.
Steve Peter, I live in Vermillion. I'm the acting fire chief here at the Avon Lake Fire Department. I've been in service here for the city for 27 years. Municipal police and fire departments primarily promote within their department structure through objective testing and through a nonpartisan process conducted through a civil service. Third-party organizations are brought into the administration, a written test and assessment exam before ranking applicants to best suit that position. My question is, why does 99%, especially in our area, always promote within? I think Aaron Heget covered a lot of that, knowing the areas, knowing the people, knowing the residents, knowing everything that there is to offer here, opposed to going to the outside and bringing somebody in. Promoting within allows the department to grow and churn at a normal controlled level, developing their own cultural and competitiveness to become better departments. While this administration states they do not want to go to the outside fire department to promote upward mobility to the chief's position, some changes to the pay scale and job requirements give concern that the only option will be to get someone from the outside instead of promoting within. One cause for concern is the quick acceptance of these job descriptions and pay ranges contained at the bottom of the job descriptions. The union has a lot of concern that the language now stipulates that it is only preferred to have an assistant chief or fire chief coming from within the department, opposed to previous language where it was stated the individuals have the experience with the Avon Lake Fire Department. The individuals who have spent their careers working at this department and with many living in the city have great advantage on how this department functions and the residents they respond to. The other issue is the pay ranges, which are contained within the job descriptions for both the fire chief and the assistant chief. With these current ranges, you now take the low end and you are moving 2 levels of pay below the rank that which you are promoting from. The current pay ranges that Human Resources has collected are very basic and not very good comparables to base these ranges on. I did some things. I did have a meeting with Lynn earlier, and I am collecting some more data that she wants me to share because I think she's in agreement that we need a very comprehensive look at this. But briefly going through some of them, we have Bay Village at about 10% over the last rank, Brooklyn 10.3, 12.5 for Avon, which they just negotiated a contract. Illyria's at 15, Lorraine's at 16, Westlake's at 13, Garfield Heights at 19%, North Ridgeville has a base exceeding ours right now, plus they get a 7.5% longevity, which equates to about $12,000. Ours tops out about $2,500. They're able to sell 100% sick leave back at 100% up to 20 hours per month. There's a lot of other incentives in there. North Royalton's at 13% over their last. They also get 6 weeks of vacation. They also get 11. So there's a lot of things that go into a compensation package for a chief or anybody else who is coming out of the collective bargaining agreement.
Like Aaron Egan said, where do you find companies or institutions that when they promote people within an organization that they lose substantial pay and benefits? If you take those job descriptions and pay rate, how can you not come to the conclusion that this is designed to go to outside of the department? I believe it's very good to go over all job descriptions on a regular basis, to better the department, to better our public service, and to move with the changing times. But we don't want to go backwards. We don't want to cause more issues, more animosity, more problems within the department. And we definitely don't want our public safety departments to become politicized. If we make changes to pay scales, we also have to be very cognitive of who objectively will be administering these rates and personnel being hired. Civil Service Commission is put in place to make sure that there is minimal political influences on these departments for the people who run them. I appeal to the council that we make sure that more discussions before we advance something we may not be ready yet. I've had conversations again with Lynn and Human Resources, and that there is plenty of agreement that this needs further looking into and discussions to get this right. The job descriptions and our other officers should be looked at and put together also. There have also been discussions of changing the rules in civil service, which need to be looked at and changed. I think there are still so many parts that need to be worked out before council passes on these descriptions and pay scales. We very much need to fill the vacancies that we currently have and have had for the last 9 months, and should be able to do that with some sort of temporary positions. At every level in our department, except for the chief and assistant chiefs, we automatically fill these positions with our most senior officers or firefighters to fill these rings while empty on a daily basis. I don't see why we can't do that at the higher levels also. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Anyone else wishing to come forward? Are you coming up? Good evening, Mr. Phillips.
Gerald Phillips, Avon Lake. I want to talk about ordinance 2654 for the residents of Avon Lake, to inform them that even though they voted down a tax increase on the ballot in May of 4% for individuals who worked in the city, and 0.4% for residents who live in Avon Lake and work outside Avon Lake, Ordinance 2654 is going to result in a 1% income tax increase for all Avon Lake residents who live in the city and work outside. So they can be aware of it and come to the next council meeting on July 13th, where the second reading will be. Now, when they raise the income tax rate, by law, they have to put it on the ballot. But when a city reduces the credit, you, the residents of Avon Lake, will not get a chance to vote on this 1% increase. Now, if you are fortunate to live in Avon, Sheffield Lake, or Lakewood, you would have that right to vote on a reduction of the income tax credit. And I know that because I circulated a petition in those cities to give the residents in those cities the right to vote on a tax increase. Now, if you make $100,000, combination of a family, husband and wife, you're going to pay $1,000 per year. Over 5 years, it'll be $5,000. Now, I'm looking at the ordinance, and the ordinance doesn't have a time limit in the title. It doesn't say 5 years limit, and the title doesn't say it's for the streets and roads. Now, it may be in the text, but it's not in the title, and I haven't had time to look at the actual ordinance. But usually the title is the law. So for those residents, I implore you to come on July 13th of this year at the council meeting if you have any concerns about the tax increase, which will be passed without your right to vote on it, so you can voice your opinions. I'd like to talk about Ordinance 2660, the moratorium. The moratorium is for 1 year. Now, I'm working with New Russia Township and Brown Hill Township, and we're looking at whether or not to make it a conditional use or to exclude it totally. And the city of Avon Lake can possibly exclude data centers within the city of Avon Lake. But it must be consistent with the comprehensive land use plan and must be based on health, safety, welfare consideration. And if you look at data centers, there's a lot of adverse effects of them. There's obviously the drain on water resources, electricity, the impact that it will have on the infrastructure, and also chemicals they use in that process. Forever chemicals, PFAS, they will be a byproduct of a data center. And you can go to a meeting at the Avon Lake Regional Water and you can get information about what PFAS are. And they're not very nice chemicals. And they have harmful effects. So I know it's going to be done and a moratorium will probably be passed. But after that, I seriously would ask Avon Lake to consider possibly excluding them if they think that's best interest of the health, safety, welfare of the residents. That's all I got.
Thank you, Mr. Phillips. Anyone else wishing to come forward? State your name, city you live in. Good evening, Mr. Zimmerman.
Good evening. William Zimmerman, beautiful Avon Lake. So I continue to investigate into this matter that happened up on the lake as a distressed boat. And the fact that there are no records of it whatsoever. This boat, I assume this what I've started to uncover, called an officer, a lieutenant down in North Ridgeville on a cell phone. They then called, Officer Fabrizi on his cell phone. He then gathered together Lieutenant Carrender, who then called the mayor. And he asked, I'm assuming, to get the code so they could get out there. Now, Mrs. Fender-Bosch was kind enough to give me that information. I didn't have that yet. She tried to help me fill in the circle. And then I had other issues in regards to the fact that my call log from the public records that we requested has the calls, but there's none on this page from Fabrizi and Carrender. So I don't understand. It shows up on the mayor's, but it doesn't show up on the actual lieutenants who were doing the investigation and going out there to try to help. That doesn't make sense to me. To me, there's a cover-up. Somebody's trying to keep us from knowing what really went on. These people could have been moving drugs. They could have been moving children, pedophiles, could have been anything. And instead, none of us know. And nobody's telling, and nobody's trying to close the circle. We're talking about making sure that we pay these gentlemen who do our dangerous jobs. Why weren't they called? This was on the water. They do water rescues. There's not a single body cam, report, phone call that came through the station. Why so secretive? Why so quiet? He's in charge of all of our public services. I give him credit. I think this might be the first time he's been transparent with anything I requested. But my problem still is why didn't anybody take any body cam or anything else? Why are we avoiding the proper protocols? To me, that smells fishy and dirty. Definitely could have been drugs, could have been people, could have been anything. And yet they open up the gate and let this person go across to give whatever. Nobody knows. There's not an inventory or anything that says that this is what that person took to that boat over there. There's no idea. We're all still guessing. To me, this is corruption at its deepest level because it's with people who have a badge. They're supposed to be entrusted by the citizens of the city. Our health, safety, and welfare, as Jennifer likes to say. I don't understand why it's like this. And so then I also get, well, you know, the law department had to get involved. I had to call them, and they're saying that this doesn't fit into that, and so therefore I'm not be able to give you anything. Well, one of my problems is Mr. Fabrizi is not I'm not Mr. Fabrizi. Valencia is not an attorney. He's a lieutenant in the police force. Is he making decisions that above his pay grade? Did he get to Mr. Eber? I have no idea. Nobody contacted me and told me what was going on. I told you, this is a big, empty goose egg. It's the worst kind of crime we could have going. If this doesn't smell like corruption, I don't know what does. I've gone through plenty of it with law director already here. He doesn't give us full documents. He redacts everything and thinks that that's okay. How is that law? How is that legal? We have to take him to court again to sue him because he can't do his job in the manner in which the Ohio State Supreme Court said to. When are the citizens going to be treated fairly? When are we going to know what's really going on? The truth is a wonderful thing. Somehow, some way, the police department needs to understand what the truth really is. Thank you for all the warning lights. I guess
Thank you, Mr. Zimmerman. Anyone else? Give these guys a second to get going. You guys got to go? Go ahead. All right, anyone else wishing to come forward? Oh, okay. I thought you were leaving with that, sorry. Welcome.
Maybe the next one. My name's Joe Harder, lived in Avon Lake for 13 years. I think you guys saw some of our correspondence through email. I want to let you guys know I'm a resource. Obviously, we don't collective bargain with, the chiefs and assistant chiefs. They're outside of our union. But at any point, if you guys have questions for me, I can try to help assist with that, give information where needed. I really wasn't planning on really saying anything, but I don't really like the politics side of this. But I will tell you, I like the fire service, and I know the fire service. I think it's number one, tradition is very important, and by a city taking care of their members and getting them through the ranks is something very important. I've talked to the mayor about it. I've talked to Lynn through HR. I think we should be taking pride in that. And I believe that we have great members here. At any point, you guys are more than welcome to come down to the station and you guys can, have conversations with us, see what we do every day. There is a lot of stress though. Being a police chief like you were, I'm sure he had stresses. It's a little different when you got to go back to somebody's family and be like, hey, so-and-so got injured. So-and-so is not doing well. These are things that people don't think about in those roles. So again, obviously you guys, I was kind of surprised how fast it kind of came up. To not hear any of our members even knew that this was happening, it's something that I think, needs to be talked about more. I'm more than open to do that. I appreciate the membership coming out to show support. We've been through a rough little patch here these last couple years, and I want to see this department move forward in a positive direction. I think we have members to do that. I know I'll be here. That's the thing, is I want to see this. I have family in this town. I care about this town. So thank you guys very much. I hope you guys, think about your votes here. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else wishing to come forward? All right, seeing nobody, I'm going to close the public input section, and we're on to the reports part of our agenda. Mayor, you're first up.
Thank you, Mr. Council President. I've got just a few items here. Apologize for my absence last time. I was out on a mission trip, so I'm going to try to catch up here a little bit. So this past Saturday, the 20th, the Recreation Department sponsored a free Summerfest concert at Miller Road Park. It was a tremendous success, a huge turnout, and I want to thank the Recreation Director, Aaron Fatch, and his team for all they did to put that together. It was just an excellent event. We have our remaining 250th Jubilee events highlighted on our webpage and at 250jubilee.com.
This Saturday morning, we have 2 events. There's a pickleball tournament at 8 a.m. at the Avon Lake High School courts. We already have 56 teams registered for that to participate. We have a Liberty 5K run and walk, which will be kicked off from the Beach Park Station at 9 a.m. We already have well over 200 people signed up for that event as well. And then, of course, July 3rd, we have our annual fireworks celebration with concert, food trucks, other events at Weiss Field. And this will be our largest fireworks display we've ever had. So hopefully everybody will come out and enjoy that. July 11th, we have another couple events. We have the Randy Nylands Bike Rodeo at 10 a.m. at Troy Intermediate School. This enables kids to get registered, get their bike checked, learn hand signals, proper braking, etc. We'll also have a table there for e-bike safety. And on the same day, we have our 6th annual Ducks and Donuts event at the Lazy River at the pool. So a lot of activities going on currently and in the next couple weeks. I also want to acknowledge a group of soon-to-be kindergartners who graduated from Safety Town. I want to thank the police and fire for their participation in that. I was honored to be able to attend the graduation last Friday. It was the greatest thing. Over 180 kids participated. I want to thank the staff again and the volunteers who ran this important safety program. Also, just recently received a recognition from the President of the Ohio Senate, Robert McCauley, and Senator Nathan Manning for the ALPS project. I just received this a couple weeks ago. I'm just going to read one paragraph from this. This memorable event offers the citizens of Avon Lake an opportunity to celebrate what makes the area an outstanding place to call home and to reflect on the benefits of life in their close-knit community. For they have built on the best traditions of the past to ensure a future filled with hope and promise. Indeed, their tremendous efforts have certainly helped bring growth and prosperity to Avon Lake, and we applaud them for their fine work. And again, I want to thank Senator McCauley and Senator Manning for that recognition. This Thursday, June 25th, 6 p.m., Avon Lake Public Library, our community council, which is made up of 20-plus civic organizations, will be recognizing the Citizen of the Year, which will be the Sheard family, and the Project of the Year, which is the Kiwanis-sponsored Fall Fest. The Fall Fest takes place immediately after the homecoming parade each year. I want to congratulate both of those, and we look forward to recognize those on Thursday. Further good news, I also want to acknowledge that we received a $150,000 grant for the Miller Road Boat Launch renovation project. I want to thank State Representative Gail Manning, Senator Nathan Manning, and State Rep Joe Miller for their support for this grant request. These funds are being earmarked to redo the parking lot at Miller Road Park. Other information, I'm sure Public Works Liskovic will expand on this, but the closure of Electric Boulevard at Hyder Creek begins June 29th, and that'll go on for 11 weeks. I'm sure he'll be able to provide some additional information for that. On tonight's agenda, we have some legislation. I want to comment on a couple of those. First, I want to comment on the income tax credit reduction that is currently on the agenda. City Council is currently considering whether to reduce the municipal income tax credit as a means of generating additional revenue to address the growing need for our road repair and infrastructure maintenance. A third-party legal opinion has confirmed that Council has the authority to implement this change by ordinance, or alternatively, submit the question to the voters for their consideration. My preference is to place this proposed tax credit reduction before the voters. This represents a significant change to the city's tax structure and would directly affect many residents who work outside of Avon Lake. Given the scope and potential impact of this proposal, I believe the community should have the opportunity to decide this change. Prior to the May election, the city invested considerable effort in educating residents about the proposed income tax increase that appeared on the ballot. Although the current proposal does not increase the city's income tax rate, it would reduce the tax credit available to certain residents and generate additional revenue dedicated specifically to road repairs and infrastructure improvements. Because this proposal could affect a substantial number of households, I believe it is important to maintain the same commitment to transparency, public engagement, and informed decision-making. The city can provide residents with clear and objective information, answer questions, and explain both the benefits and implications of the proposal. Ultimately, allowing voters to weigh in on a change of this magnitude will help ensure the decision reflects the will of the community and reinforces public confidence in the process. And that will be coming up, obviously, for additional consideration. And I'd like to address all the firefighters. I want to thank you all for coming out. I appreciate it. And of course, I appreciate everything you guys do. Just to clear up a couple things. it has never been our administration's attempt or consideration to hire from outside. I am actually a huge proponent of promotion from within. Always have been, always will be. I'm not sure how that got started, but I just want to allay any fears that that's the case. And additionally, the civil service rules and regulations require that. Only if nobody takes the test, which I think Assistant Chief Peter alluded to, would that become the case. And we're, certainly we want to be fair and equitable in all pay ranges, right? Not just the assistant chief and the fire chief, but all our collective bargaining members as well. So again, the salary range is still in progress. I appreciate any information you have. I know Lynn is more than anxious to get any information that you have relative to benefits and how that affects salaries, because we want all that information. I said it last time that salary range data collection and establishing salary ranges is probably one of the more difficult things we do, because there is no apples to apples, right? There's always nuances and changes that will affect that, and you can, pull out data from all over the place and make it say what you want it to say. We don't want to do that. We want to be fair. We want to be equitable. So any more information we can get is great. So the change in the job description was necessary because as we analyzed the job descriptions that were in place, we looked at our staff from within, and nobody would have been eligible to take the police or the fire chief test. And that's not acceptable. That would have automatically pushed it outside of our department. So we made the conscious decision that we had to update the job description, and we worked with Assistant Chief Peter to do just that. So those both have been updated for that reason. The other part of that, of course, is there's going to be a salary range attached to that, and that's not a done deal by any stretch. Again, the number you saw in there was a placeholder. We know it's low. We know it has to be adjusted. We just need to find out where we're going to go, and with all your help, we'll be able to do that. So I just wanted to address those two things, and again, thank you all for coming out and speaking your mind and letting us know. And that ends my report. Thank you.
Anyone have any questions for the mayor? Yes, Mrs. Fenderbosh.
Thank you. Mr. Mayor, thank you very much for giving us your opinion on the tax credit. There's many ways to look at a pancake, the top, the bottom, and then the side. And one of the things that occurs here with City Council is that we have listened to our residents, and twice, as Mr. Cos has said, who isn't here tonight, we have had tax options in front of the residents, and they told us a resounding no. And in hearing a resounding no, this particular council worked to try to find a way to support our infrastructure, which would be our streets, our roads, and our bridges. And collectively, we came together with a concept that we would not increase the tax across the city. The tax base would remain the same at 1.5%, but that we would put in an equity there. We found that 75% of our residents that live here work outside of the community. 75% of them pay zero. They pay nothing for the infrastructure that's here, that my colleague, Mrs. Gentry, tells us week after week after week. So I'm going to be speaking for them also. We agree here that this is an equity issue, that everyone needs to help with the streets and the bridges. And that's the reason why we're looking at, and we are considering, and why on our legislation, there is a credit reduction so that there's equity there. It's not a quick slip that we're putting in. This is something that as of May 29th, a memo came from our finance director, who can't speak for herself because she's on vacation. She sent it to us, and she stated that the one item, and this is prior to the memo that council received today from outside counsel, she stated that the Ohio Revised Code does not allow a credit reduction as the only item before the public for an election. Perhaps there's a debate there, but this particular council has taken the difficult decision to move forward on a piece of legislation we're going to be discussing that has to do with a reduction in the credit. And that's for equitability so that all of us help to pay for our infrastructure. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Mrs. Fenderbosh. Anybody else have any questions? I do have a question for the mayor. Based on your comments, are you going to be requesting that we remove the fire chief and assistant fire chief from the agenda for second reading so that you all can talk and negotiate this instead of at a council meeting in private amongst yourselves?
Well, I think we've certainly been having those discussions. I know Lynn has been talking with different firefighters, and we intend to continue to do that. I don't think we move this till third reading until we have those completed. But it's up to council how you want to handle the readings, but I would say we want to work it out prior to. If we go ahead with second reading, that's fine, but I would hold off on third reading until we make that decision.
Well,
The other thing I would like to add, if I could, Council President, is, we wanted to move on these job descriptions because we know we have positions to fill at the top end of the fire department, and we didn't want to delay those any further. But understanding it's important to get it right,
Well,
too.
what I heard from you was that relative to the wages that are included in the ordinance at the end, that they still need to be worked on, and
They do.
I don't know what council thinks about this, but if they still need to be worked on, I don't know why we're gonna have a second reading if it's not ready for that yet. And again, I think that the negotiation should be private and not here on the council floor. So I just wanna know if you want us to hold off on the second reading or not.
Yeah, I'm fine with holding off on second reading again. We certainly don't want to move forward on passage until we have that worked out. So if that works for council, I'm good with that.
Yeah, I think so. Mr. Reynolds, you can make the motion at the appropriate time.
Yes, I agree.
All right, thank you. And the other question I had for you, Mayor, it's twofold. One is, are there any updates on ALARG's progress, and are there any updates on the town center progress?
Nothing on the town center. I know that Ted Esborn reported on that last, and I know Ted sent the questions from council had to ALERG. I don't have those in front of me, but if you wanted him to speak to that, I'm sure he can.
Does anyone mind? Come on forward, Mr. Esborn. This is relative to ALARG, correct?
Yes, so I did forward the questions to ALERG, and I think just today I heard back from Dick Shields, and so I will forward his response to council. I think I sent him really as it appeared in the Economic Development Committee agenda. So I will send you his response as it came through.
How about, can we get a little overview of what it is for the public so that they know what's going on there, please?
I mean, certainly they noted the confidentiality of some of the information, and I mean that's about all I can say. I mean I think that was the first thing stated in the response, and I can't think of any other piece of it that I can relay.
Any discussion at all relative to a vertical developer?
Not specifically, just generally, just sort of speaking of, groups spoken to. So nothing specific.
All right. Any councilman have any questions? Yes, Mr. Shamir.
So, the question that was submitted was pretty detailed, but I guess one fundamental question comes to mind is when we discussed 1219, the big comment and push was there's developers out there that are waiting. And since it's now signed, I guess the question is, who are those developers and what are their thoughts? Because it's been passed, now we just need to know what that is. Thank you.
Understood.
Yeah, if you could keep us informed, that'd be great.
Yep.
Thank you. Any other, I got to turn around. Any other questions for the mayor? All right, seeing none, it's on to the council president report. First thing I want to do is say happy Father's Day to everybody who's a father. I hope that y'all had a good day yesterday. I had a great day. I was for myself, so I hope everyone else did as well. Next I have on the agenda is on my report is the Job Growth Incentive Program. We're going to need to rescind that ordinance. Is that something, Mr. Shamir, that we could just go ahead and get that on the agenda and start moving on that?
Yeah.
Okay, because that comes out of the economic, I don't want to And obviously, I wasn't very happy with that ordinance in the first place, so. All right. Second is, I want everybody to know that the acceptance of the ODOT grants are on the agenda this evening. I'm asking for a suspension of the rules on those so we can get those cleaned up. And third is I wanted to talk a little bit about the data center moratorium. After discussion with the law director, while I still kind of favor a 6-month time limit on that to keep everybody going, the ordinance sets forth a 1-year time limit, and Mr. Reynolds will be moving that forward. We think that would be sufficient, and I know that I do want to make sure that our record shows that Mr. Shamir at our last meeting, a collective committee meeting, set forth the reasons why he felt a 1 year was appropriate. And Mr. Shamir, yeah.
This is actually a comment regarding the rescinding of the
Okay.
previous ordinance. Can I make that
Yeah,
comment now?
go ahead.
Yeah. As long as those funds are set aside and allocated to economic development and they don't end up in general fund, I am okay, as I mentioned previously. If it's going into general fund, I am not.
So
I just want to clarify that.
So the ordinance needs to be worded that way.
Exactly.
So, Mr. Ebert, if you'd make sure of that, which is why I wanted to bring that up tonight.
Yeah.
Because it's something that needs to get done. So the data center moratorium is going to be 1 year. Last is, or no, not quite last. The clerk has a list of the Northeast Ohio City Council Association events coming up. August 4th, September 26th, October 15th, November 13th, about once a month, and December 14th. There are several events, and hopefully council can, I'll have Mrs. Rossmarin send off that list. We're part of that organization now, and I'd like to see us take advantage of it. Because it's very educational. And the last thing I did want to mention is that July 6th, not July 13th, or July 18th, July 13th would be our last meeting, right? Yeah, we will be just having a special meeting for the sole purpose of a second reading on the credit reduction, which, as Mrs. Fenderbosh said, is a reduction to try and level off the tax burden on everyone within the city. And that'll be July 6th, and then that will be on for a third reading on July 13th. Okay, any questions for me? Yes, Mrs. Fenderbosh.
Thank you very much. The question has to do with the ordinances that I will be sponsoring for the acceptance of the grants. In our packet, it has done emergency, but you wanted the emergency to be off, right?
Correct.
Okay,
So that, yeah,
No, it's fine.
we'll do that.
Just
They'll
wanna
go in
make
effect
sure.
30 days. Yeah.
right, because it's different than what we have in our packet. Okay, thank you.
Mrs. Rossmarin?
After I spoke with Mrs. Fenderbosh on Friday, I removed the emergency provision on all the ordinances. However, councils, their packets have it included because it had already gone out. But what you have is,
Oh, I don't have the emergency.
you don't have
Yeah.
it, right?
But we do.
Okay,
Right.
I did not realize that.
Yeah,
Okay.
thank you.
Yes, Mr. Shamir.
Yes, just as a matter of comments with respect to the data center moratorium, I just want to clarify that the 1 year was based on an understanding of the time frame required to do the economic development strategy and data center impact analysis. That is the reason. Now, that really depends on administration and their capability to do that economic development strategy and the impact analysis associated with that.
Well, I think that's important for that comment is
Exactly.
important for
Rationale.
understanding why it's a 1 year.
Exactly.
So
Thank you.
thank you for clarifying that. All right, I don't see any questions for me, so we'll move on to law director.
No report this evening, Mr. President.
All right, that was simple. The finance director is not here. Public Works Director, Mr. Liskovic.
Yes, good evening. Just to dovetail on the mayor's comments earlier regarding the upcoming closure of Electric Boulevard. As he stated, the closure is going to begin at 6:29. That's going to start with necessary water work ahead of the actual bridge project, which is due to commence on July 6th. As mentioned, it is estimated about an 11-week closure. It'll be a full closure for a complete removal and replacement of that culvert. Detour signages and such will be going up this week. I know they posted just a message signage by the culvert end of last week. And I think that kind of concludes everything related to the update on that bridge closure that's coming. But I know information has been posted to the city's website, pushed out through social media. I thank our partners at Avon Lake Regional Water for putting some of that together, as this is a cooperative project between both entities.
So that starts next Monday, and I'm sure when I come to the council meeting next Monday, I'll drive right up to it and forget that it's closed. So I'm sure I will do that. Any questions for the Public Works Director? All right, seeing none. We're on to the standing committees of council. The first one is Buildings and Utilities. Does anyone have a report for Ms. Gentry tonight from her committee? Okay. Next is Economic Development, Mr. Shamir.
Yes, we do have a CIC special meeting on Wednesday, June 24th, in this room at 6 p.m. And you already touched on the questions with respect to ALERG and 1219 and the developments initiative. The only thing that I would touch base on is that I did send a time frame for the economic development strategy framework, and the mayor and Mr. Esborn were kind enough to send a request to meet on July 7th. Now, I have blocked those hours between now and the ending date. So I am available to go through the process and help and assist with the economic development strategy during this period. So if you guys need the support, please feel free. If not, the offer is there. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Shamir. Anyone have any questions? Yes, Mrs. Fenderbosh.
Yes, Mr. Shamir, could you speak about the interviews tomorrow night?
We do have the final CIC interviews tomorrow evening, and that is, I think, 5 candidates that are remaining. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much. Any more questions for Mr. Shamir in Economic Development? All right, that puts us on to Environmental. Mrs. Goodwin.
Thank you. I don't have so much environmental update, but I just wanted to speak about the 5 candidates that we had to fill the EAB position. We concluded those interviews this evening, and it was pretty amazing. We had a great turnout. We're very fortunate to have people who care so much in this community. So I just wanted to mention that. We will not meet in July, but we will finalize those vacancies and meet again in August. And then that's probably when we will have our next environmental committee meeting at the CCM, which hopefully in August. And that's all I have.
All right, thank you. Next up is the Finance Committee. There's several pieces of legislation on the agenda tonight out of Finance Committee, including that are set for second readings. I can discuss those at the time that they come up. Other than that, the Finance Committee will meet as part of the collective committee meeting on July 6th. Any questions for the Finance Committee Chair? All right. Seeing none, we're on to Human Resources. Mr. Reynolds.
Thank you, Mr. Council President. As it was stated earlier, we are going to move to remove ordinance 2644 and 2645 from the second readings this evening. That is the two human resource topics that we have on the agenda. At this time, I would like to call our Human Resources Director, Ms. Kernia, to the podium, please.
Yes, come on forward.
I am very pleased this evening to be able to introduce our city engineer candidate who is in our audience this evening, Stuart Levice. Please join me in welcoming Mr. Levice, a licensed professional engineer and professional surveyor with more than 40 years of experience in civil engineering, public infrastructure, construction management, and disaster mitigation. Mr. Levice brings a unique blend of public sector leadership and private sector project delivery experience. He has served as city engineer and director of public service for 2 Ohio municipalities, where he led major infrastructure, flood control, utility, roadway, and facilities improvement initiatives. He is recognized for creating engineering departments, developing policies, securing grants, improving operational efficiency, and delivering significant cost savings for taxpayers. Throughout his career, he has managed complex transportation, bridge, utility, and public works projects across Ohio and other states, including work for ODOT, municipal governments, transit agencies, airports, and major construction firms. His experience spans project management, estimating, engineering design, construction oversight, contract negotiation, and change order administration. In recent years, Mr. Levice has also served as a FEMA 406 mitigation specialist, helping communities recover from disasters by identifying and developing hazard mitigation solutions. His mitigation proposals have resulted in more than $16.5 million in approved funding for projects involving buildings, levees, and flood protection systems. Mr. Levice holds a Bachelor of Science in Civil Engineering from the University of Akron and is a life member of the American Society of Civil Engineers and has earned numerous professional certifications in engineering, construction, safety, and public infrastructure management. We are very pleased to have someone with Mr. Levice's depth of technical expertise, leadership experience, and commitment to public service joining our engineering department, and we happily welcome Stuart Levice.
Mr. Levice, if you'd like to come forward and maybe say a couple words. Sure. This is ordinance number 26-61 is what we're discussing right now. Mr. Levice, the microphone's yours.
Thank you for that kind introduction, and I'm honored to be here and to be considered for this very important position as the engineer. And I want to thank the mayor and his staff for very thorough interviews, probably the most I've had in my career, and that's a good thing. You want to get to know each other, so, no surprises or anything. And very good research from the HR director and public works director and so on. So, and I'm very impressed with the council's qualifications. I've read through each of your resumes, and it's just amazing. Excellent cross-section of people to help the city out. I'm honored.
Well,
I love the community, always have. And I want to introduce my wife, Mary. She's a registered nurse at Cleveland Clinic. She's here to give a little moral support. And my daughter, Catherine, is going to be a registered nurse. She's at school right now. So once again, thank you very much.
Well, very nice to have you, and there's a lot of work to do.
I'm ready. I'm ready. I never had an easy job, so why start now? I always say.
Well, thank you.
Thank you.
Does anyone on council have any questions or anything? No. All right.
I'm
Well,
just really glad
thank
he's
you very
here.
much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
I have a comment. You're not gonna get a dedicated, hardworking guy than this guy here, so he'll be a real asset for you all.
Well, thank you. Thank you for being here. We look forward to seeing you.
Thank you very much.
All right. Back to you, Mr. Reynolds.
That is the end of my report.
Oh, part of it is that there will be a motion that I'm gonna make reestablishing the engineering department as part of this as well. There'll be more work to be done on that, but it'll take a little time. All right. Public safety, Mr. Kaz, is anyone here have anything, report for Mr. Cos? Yes,
Right.
Mrs.
The only
Fenderbush.
thing that he wants the public to know is that he's going to have a one-topic meeting on July 1st, right after the public service meeting. So it will be probably around 6 o'clock, 6:15 it'll start. And the only topic is going to be e-bikes. So if you have an interest, come, share your experiences. That's the topic for the night. Thank you.
Thank you. That's a Wednesday?
Yes,
Or is
sir.
that Tuesday? It's a
Wednesday.
Wednesday,
It's a Wednesday.
July 1st.
July 1st.
If you want to come talk to safety about the e-bikes, is the police chief gonna be here for that?
You'll
Do
have
you know?
everybody here.
All right. Very good. All right, next is public service. Mrs. Fenderbosh.
Thank you. So our next meeting is going to be July 1st, as was said, at 5:30 p.m. in this chamber. And tonight we have 7 items on our agenda. 5 of those items I'm going to be asking for suspension of the rule, but on those 5 items, there will not be an exception made for an emergency, which means that when we get to it, when we start talking about it, if it should go into effect, it'll take a full 30 days. I'm sorry, after the mayor signs it, it'll take a full 30 days before it goes into effect. It's kind of an unusual way that we're doing it, and it's the end of our term here before we get into the summer, and we need to finish some items. That's it, really, on our agenda.
Okay, thank you. Any questions for Mrs. Fenderbosh? All right, seeing none. Planning Commission, Mr. Reynolds.
Thank you. The only item I have this evening is that our next meeting will be July 7th. I have not seen the agenda yet, so I can't really speak to what the topics will be.
I think there are some things on there. I talked to Kelly, I just don't remember what they were. But you will have a meeting.
I'm looking forward to it.
I don't know if the mayor knows what they are. It's Matthews.
Matthews Hollow.
Yeah.
Harborcrest, no, Harborcrest,
Just Harborcrest, and the code changes.
code changes, yep.
And-
Code changes in Harborcrest.
Okay. Thank you. Any questions for Planning Commission? Seeing none. Mayor Spetzel, Zoning Board of Appeals.
So the next meeting will be June 30th, and there's currently 4 cases scheduled.
All right, thank you. Any questions for the mayor regarding zoning board? All right, seeing none. Next up, Parks and Rec, Mrs. Goodwin.
Thank you. I don't have much to report besides that there is a Parks and Rec meeting this Wednesday at 5:30 in the downstairs conference room. I actually did I'm sorry, I did receive the agenda this afternoon. I'll look very quickly just to see if there's anything notable on there. We will be talking about Erie View, the Anchor recreational facility that was discussed at the CCM last week, Parks Master Plan and Parks Survey results, kind of a report that's including all of those things that we have been previously talking about, some Sunset Park discussions, and the facility and sports field use policy. Those are the items that are on the agenda for
June
this
30th.
Wednesday.
June 30th?
No, like 3 days from, 2 days.
Oh,
June 24th, yeah,
I'm
thank
sorry.
you.
June 24th, at what
Yes.
time?
5:30,
And that's gonna be downstairs in the engineer conference room?
yes.
Okay. Any questions for Mrs. Goodwin? All right, seeing none, we're on to special committees. Any special committee reports? Mrs. Goodwin?
Thank you. We did last week have the first 2 meetings of the Lakefront Futuring and Investment Ad Hoc Committee. And I apologize if you didn't see an agenda for one or both of those. That we're still kind of gearing up and building those things, discussing meeting times, membership, roles and responsibilities. All of those things are still happening in discussion. So we haven't really had a formalized anything just yet. But we are meeting again this Saturday morning at 7:30 a.m. in council chamber. And I'm gonna do my best to make sure that I have some form of an agenda to be posted on the website this time. And that's really all I have for this evening. Hopefully in the coming weeks, I'll have a lot more. But we're moving, so thank you.
All right. Well, thank you very much. So that's this coming Saturday at 7:30, and you met last Saturday at 7:30. How long in the morning? How long did that last?
We got out and we started public comment like right at the 1 hour mark. So we were out by 8:15, or wait, yeah, 8:15, or
right.
8:45 is what I meant to say. Thank you.
Okay. Well, thank you. Yes, Mrs. Fenderbosh.
I have a tree commission.
Any more questions for Mrs. Goodwin? Okay. Seeing none, go ahead.
Okay, the tree commission is not going to be meeting in July. Their next meeting will be in August 12th at 6 p.m. at the old firehouse. Thank you.
Thank you. Any questions for Tree Commission Chair, Mrs. Fenderbosh? Seeing none, we're on to the motions. First motion, I move to reestablish the City of Avon Lake Engineering Department. Discussion. This is part of having an engineer back and getting the engineering department up and rolling for him. Yes.
Just one thing in going history here is back in 2014, the service department merged with the engineering department, so we'll be starting over, as far as the scope of the engineering department, and presenting that to council for the review and passage.
All right. Any questions? Please call the roll.
Mrs. Fenderbosh?
Yes.
Mrs. Goodwin?
Yes.
Mr. Reynolds?
Yes.
Mr. Shamir?
Yes.
Mr. Smith?
Yes. That has passed. Next, we're into legislation section, second readings. Are there any motions, deletions, corrections to any of the second readings? Mr. Reynolds?
I move to remove ordinance number 26-44 and 24.
We'll do one at a time.
Oh, we have to, okay. 26-44 from the agenda.
Discussion. This is, go ahead.
Okay. Well, as stated earlier, there are ongoing negotiations, and it would be prudent for us to not move this forward until the salary negotiations are complete.
Very good. Any further discussion? Please call the roll.
Mrs. Fenderbosh?
Yes.
Mrs. Goodwin?
Yes.
Mr. Reynolds?
Yes.
Mr. Shamir?
Yes.
Mr. Smith?
Yes. Any other motions, additions, or deletions? Yes, Mr. Reynolds.
Thank you. I move to remove ordinance number 26-45 from the agenda.
Discussion.
As with 26-44, there are ongoing salary negotiations and pay ranges, and it would be prudent for us to not move this forward at this time.
Thank you. Any further discussion? Please call the roll on the motion.
Mrs. Fenderbosh?
Yes.
Mrs. Goodwin?
Yes.
Mr. Reynolds?
Yes.
Mr. Shamir?
Yes.
Mr. Smith?
Yes. Thank you. Both 2644 and 2645 have been removed from the second readings. All right, any other further deletions, additions? All right, if the clerk would read by title only, ordinance number 26-46.
An ordinance providing for legal representation of the City of Avon Lake and specific officials of the city in actions filed by the State of Ohio ex rel. William Zimmerman et al., case number 2024-1711, State of Ohio ex rel. William Zimmerman et al., case number 24-CV214755, and Gerald Phillips et al., case number 25-PC-00002, and declaring an emergency.
Thank you. This ordinance is in order to pay the fees, the legal fees, in relation to the cases that were set up in the ordinance. We'll have the third reading at our next regular council meeting. Any questions? All right, that concludes the second reading of ordinance 26-46. If the clerk would read by title only, ordinance number 26-47.
An ordinance providing legal representation for the mayor of the city of Avon Lake in the matter of in re removal of Mark Spetzel, mayor of Avon Lake, Ohio, ex rel. Gerald W. Phillips et al. Versus Mark Spetzel, mayor of Avon Lake, Lorraine County Court of Common Pleas, Probate Division, case number 25-PC-00002, and the city of Avon Lake in imminent future litigation and declaring an emergency.
Thank you. This is the second reading of ordinance 26-47 to pay the legal bills regarding the case that it was won at the Lorraine County Probate Court, I believe it was. And we're going to have this as a third reading at our first regular meeting in July. Any comments or questions on that? Seeing none, that concludes the second reading of 26-47. We're on to ordinance number 26-48, if the clerk would read by title only.
An ordinance authorizing a donation to Community Resource Services and declaring an emergency.
Thank you. This is the second reading of an ordinance where we have traditionally provided funds and a $25,000 donation to Community Resources, which provides assistance to Avon Lake residents throughout our city. They're located down in the old town center, or the old Avon Lake downtown. We've done this in the past, and they clearly do good work for our citizens. All right, any questions? Seeing none, that concludes the second reading of ordinance number 26-48, and we will have that on a third reading at our first meeting in July before break. Thank you. If the clerk would read by title only, resolution 26-49.
A resolution authorizing the mayor to prepare and submit an application to participate in the Ohio Public Works Commission State Capital Improvement and/or local transportation improvement programs, and to execute contracts as required, and declaring an emergency.
Thank you. Mrs. Fenderbosh.
Thank you very much, Council President. This is the second reading, and the State Capital Improvement Program and the Local Transportation Improvement Program both provide financial assistance to political subdivisions for capital improvements to public infrastructure. Avon Lake is planning to make capital improvements, and the mayor, if this should be passed, is then authorized to apply to OPWC, the Ohio Public Works Commission, for the funds, and to enter into any agreements as may be necessary and appropriate for obtaining financial assistance. This resolution is hereby declared to be an emergency measure when passed, the emergency being the necessity of filing the application with OPWC by the deadline to receive a grant to provide improvements to the city's infrastructure, provide safe driving conditions on city roads. This is for the health, safety, and welfare of the public, which means that it would be going into effect the day after the signature.
Thank you. Any questions? All right, that concludes the second reading of resolution 26-49. If the clerk would read by title only, resolution 26-51, please.
A resolution in support of the City of Avon Lake Public Works Department Sensible Salt-In Program.
Thank you. Mrs. Fenderbosh.
Thank you, Council President. This resolution is also the second reading. We're going to have three readings, and it's the new program that we've talked about the last couple meetings. The Public Works Department has developed this Sensible Salting Program. A new way to go forward is designed to improve environmental stewardship, reduce deterioration of public roadways, and better manage rising operational expenses associated with winter roadway maintenance. The Sensible Salting Program applies to all public roadways within Avon Lake. However, we do encourage HOAs, homeowners associations that manage their private streets to consider adopting these similar practices. The Sensible Salting Program establishes an initial goal of reducing road salt by 20% during the 26-27 winter season. So we're trying to save money too, while maintaining safe and passable roadways. The Safe Salting Program includes strategies such as limited salting during overnight hours if traffic is not traveling on the roads, the road salt is wasted, it's not being moved along, it's not going to make contact with the road like it should, so it's not going to be melting. So we're following science, basically, is what's happening. And the service department is working with Rob Rule with the Community Technologies to put the program out for the public to understand it. It's something that's been adopted in Cuyahoga County. It's been used elsewhere, and we're trying to be more efficient and smart about how we use our resources. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Liskovic has done a lot in getting that program together. Is there anything you wanted to add at this point?
Just a couple of things, just for reference. One is part of our tools in our toolbox to move sensible salting is going to be the making of brine that we have the capacity to do at our facility. This is not brine that we're getting from the result of the fracking industry and stuff like that. And we will not be direct applying brine. It'll be actually being used to pre-wet the solid salt as it is coming out of the trucks to reduce scatter, activate the salt. Again, starting to provide those benefits of reductions, and then which leads to stewardship and all the other items that have been covered earlier. So.
All right. Well, thank you for your work on that project. All right, that concludes the second reading of Resolution 26-51. If the clerk would read by title only, ordinance number 26-52.
An ordinance authorizing the creation of the PFAS Class Action Lawsuit Settlement Fund number 708 and declaring an emergency.
I move for the suspension of the rule requiring 3 readings. Please call the roll.
Mrs. Fenderbosh?
Yes.
Mrs. Goodwin?
Yes.
Mr. Reynolds?
Yes.
Mr. Shamir?
Yes.
Mr. Smith?
Yes. The suspension is passed. I move for passage of ordinance number 26-52. In discussion, this is the creation of a special fund for the placement of funds that the city will receive or the utilities department receive relative to the PFAS Class Action Lawsuit Settlement Fund. Anyone have any questions? Yes, Mr. Shamir.
Do we have an amount of this settlement as it's going to be dispersed to the city? And is there an actual system-wide upgrade or remedial action that is planned to be, the funds to be used for?
I do not know the answer to the settlement amounts at this point.
At this point, I still don't have, there's going to be a settlement amount, but have no idea the amount yet. Has not been allocated specifically yet.
Mayor, anything relative to the application of the funds once they're received?
No, I think that's a better question for Mr. Rob Monroe to answer, but we can, once we get the information, we can pass that along.
But it will be coming out of that special fund. All right, please call the roll.
Mrs. Fenderbosh?
Yes.
Mrs. Goodwin?
Yes.
Mr. Reynolds?
Yes.
Mr. Shamir?
Yes.
Mr. Smith?
Yes, that has passed. All right, we're on to first readings. Any deletions, additions for first readings? Seeing none, if the clerk would read by title only, ordinance number 26-53.
An ordinance authorizing the mayor to execute a personal services agreement with Zupka and Associates and declaring an emergency.
Thank you. This is the first reading relative to Zupka and Associates, who will be doing our, the annual financial statements. I was gonna say the gap funding, and I don't know why. But the annual financial statements, we will be asking to have this concluded, I believe, with a suspension of the rules at our next meeting on July 13th. Any comments or questions regarding this? All right, that concludes the first reading. If the clerk would read by title only, ordinance number 26-54.
An ordinance amending section 886.06 of the city's codified ordinances to reduce the allowable municipal income tax credit for tax to other municipalities from 1.5% to 0.5% beginning January 1st, 2027,
and providing for the purpose of the resultant additional revenues to the city and declaring an emergency.
Thank you. This is the first reading of ordinance number 26-54. This is the reduction in the tax credit, which would affect those who live in the city and work outside of the city. They have changed in the ordinance the amount to 70%, the amount used to fix the roads. 30% would be for capital cost. This will cause an increase in the payments from those who do work out the city, who have for many, many years not paid any income tax into the city of Avon Lake. And basically, in my opinion, level the playing field a little bit, and is something that's needed as the administration has asked us earlier this year with regard to the income tax increase, an amount needed so that we can get the roads fixed. I think it's a necessary ordinance. I also think it's necessary to get the roads fixed in order that we can begin those processes. And it's something that, as being elected to this position, not only first by the council, but secondly by the people, that it's an important decision that I don't take lightly, but it is a decision that I've been asked to make as an elected council person. And that's my view of this at this particular time. Any other questions or comments on this ordinance? Mr. Shamir.
I do agree, and I do understand that there needs to be an equity on income tax. But I also believe that the city needs to have a long-term strategy on job creation, business development, growth, and that comes through economic development. And that needs to be moved forward hand in hand. I think we have the responsibility not only to maintain the roads, but also to ensure that we have job growth, industrial growth as we require, so that we're able to fund it into the future and beyond. So that's my comment, same as I had before during the first round. I still hold the same feelings. Thank you.
Well, thank you. And certainly, I know that your Economic Development Committee and the CIC are working toward those goals. And I would like to think that Mr. Esborn and the administration are also moving toward those goals, because it is important for the long-term viability of our community, which is important. Yes, Mr. Mayor.
Yes, I agree wholeheartedly. We have to continue to, seek economic growth. I do want to note, though, that we are looking for $6 million to keep our roads at the current level that they are at, which is 73 on the rating scale. In order to do that, that's how we came up with the $6 million revenue that we are seeking to move forward. We did a little analysis of what that would mean if we didn't raise income tax rates or reduce the credit, what we would need in job growth to bring in that $6 million. At the current 1.5% income tax rate, we would need $400 million of additional payroll or net profits, or a combination of that. If you break that down into jobs, that would be 8,000 jobs in Avon Lake making $50,000, or it'd be 5,333 jobs making $75,000, or it'd be 4,000 jobs making $100,000 per year. So that's a tall task. That is actually an amount that's equal to 2.5 times our largest payroll person right now. Given our limited land capacity, that's a tall order to try to get even close to that. So while we feel that's a very important part of what we're trying to do, it's not going to answer all our questions. Hence the need to increase the income tax rate, or the need to reduce the credit to realize the necessary funds to keep our roads in the proper location. I just want to say, when I spoke to this earlier, I'm all for having to go forward to seek this remedy. I know we presented to council different scenarios, and it was decided that The reduction in credit would be the one the council wanted to go forward with, which I'm okay with. But I just want to, again, state that council has two options. They can go ahead and vote for it, or they can send it to the voters. In my opinion, it should go to the voters. Other than that, I think we're all on the same page. Thank you.
Yeah, but what would we do if it doesn't pass?
Obviously, we're hoping that the residents understand the need that we have in our infrastructure, and they understand that this option that we're providing is different than the one we had before. It does not raise the rate. It just makes the contributors more equitable. And, you know, we'll continue to answer questions. We'll continue to go out and provide information to the best of our ability. We're hoping that council will do the same, and that the voters will realize that there is no other fix to the current problem. You know, we have a long history of infrastructure needs that go back many, many years, and we have to address them, and this is the only way to effectively address them.
And I can tell you, from my standpoint, I'm certainly not going to let our infrastructure crumble. So, yes, Mr. Shamir.
I fully agree with what the mayor said with respect to the jobs required and the revenues and industrial growth. But these were the discussions that we were having during 1219 and the economic analysis. At that juncture, with all the infrastructure requirements that we discussed, that was presented as a number of jobs coming in. Yet what we're looking at and talking about now is exactly the same scenario where we can't raise $6 million through job creation and business initiatives. So there is a duality in what we are presenting. We need to be clear whether a growth, whether by 1219 and the power plant redevelopment area is going to bring the funds required to expand the infrastructure, yet we're not able to manage $6 million worth of annual road maintenance with a significantly larger requirement in jobs. So that duality needs to be addressed. And this is my fundamental issues. We can't speak from two parts of our face. Duality is not allowed, because we have to be clear. Either when we pushed 1219 and the economics, it showed that we can develop and grow infrastructure. Now we can address $6 million, and I have a problem with that. Thank you.
All right, anyone else? All right, that concludes the first reading of ordinance number 26-54. We're on to ordinance 26-55. If the clerk would read by title only, please.
An ordinance authorizing the mayor to accept the Ohio Department of Transportation grant for the Lake Road East Sidewalk Project.
Mrs. Fenderbosh,
Thank you. I move for suspension of council's rule requiring 3 readings.
please call the roll.
Mrs. Fenderbosh?
Yes.
Mrs. Goodwin?
Yes.
Mr. Reynolds?
Yes.
Mr. Shamir?
Yes.
Mr. Smith?
Yes.
Thank you. I move for Thank you.
Mrs. Fenderbosh.
Thank you. I move for passage of ordinance number 26-55.
Discussion.
Thank you. The city engineer applied for funding through the Ohio Department of Transportation for the Lake Road East Sidewalk Project, LOR-6-18.53. The state calls it PID number 117317. If this should pass, then council shall accept a grant from ODOT in the amount of $321,149 that authorizes the mayor then to accept the funds. And there is no declared emergency measure. Thank you.
Thank you. Any further discussion? Please call the roll.
Mrs. Fenderbosh?
Yes?
Mrs. Goodwin?
Yes.
Mr. Reynolds?
Yes.
Mr. Shamir?
Yes.
Mr. Smith?
Yes.
Thank you.
That has passed. Please read, if the clerk would please read by title only, ordinance number 26-56.
An ordinance authorizing the mayor to accept the Ohio Department of Transportation grant for the Lake Road East Sidewalk Project.
Mrs. Fenderbosh,
Thank you, Council President. I move for suspension of council's rule requiring 3 readings.
please call the roll.
Mrs. Fenderbosh?
Yes.
Mrs. Goodwin?
Yes.
Mr. Reynolds?
Yes.
Mr. Shamir?
Yes.
Mr. Smith?
Yes. Mrs. Fenderbosh,
Thank you. I move for passage of temporary ordinance number 26-56.
discussion.
Thank you. Much like the one before, the city engineer applied for funding through the Ohio Department of Transportation called ODOT for the Lake Road East Sidewalk Project, LOR-6-18.53. The state calls it PID number 117317. The city was successful in obtaining these funds, and if this should pass, it is going to authorize the mayor to accept a grant from ODOT in the amount of $234,000.
Any further discussion?
There is no emergency measure.
Please call the roll.
Mrs. Fenderbosh?
Yes.
Mrs. Goodwin?
Yes.
Mr. Reynolds?
Yes.
Mr. Shamir?
Yes.
Mr. Smith?
Yes, that has passed.
Thank you.
If the clerk would read by title only, ordinance number 26-57.
An ordinance authorizing the mayor to accept the Ohio Department of Transportation grant for the Lake Road West Sidewalk.
Mrs. Fenderbosh,
Thank you. I move for suspension of council's rule requiring 3 readings.
please call the roll.
Mrs. Fenderbosh?
Yes.
Mrs. Goodwin?
Yes.
Mr. Reynolds?
Yes.
Mr. Shamir?
Yes.
Mr. Smith?
Yes. Mrs. Fenderbosh,
Thank you. Thank you, Council President. I move for passage of temporary ordinance number 26-57.
yes, discussion.
Just like before, the city engineer applied for funding through the Ohio Department of the Ohio Department of Transportation, ODOT, for the Lake Road West Sidewalk Project, LOR 6-15.87. The state calls it PID number 119923. If this should pass, it authorizes the mayor to accept the grant from ODOT in the amount of $1,802,700. And there is no emergency measure.
Thank you. Any further discussion? Please call the roll.
Mrs. Fenderbosh?
Yes.
Mrs. Goodwin?
Yes.
Mr. Reynolds?
Yes.
Mr. Shamir?
Yes.
Mr. Smith?
Yes, that has passed.
Thank you.
If the clerk would read by title only ordinance 26-58, please.
An ordinance authorizing the mayor to accept the Ohio Department of Transportation grant for the Lake Road West Sidewalk Project.
Mrs. Fenderbosh,
Thank you, Council President. I move for suspension of council's rule requiring 3 readings.
please call the roll.
Mrs. Fenderbosh?
Yes.
Mrs. Goodwin?
Yes.
Mr. Reynolds?
Yes.
Mr. Shamir?
Yes.
Mr. Smith?
Yes. Mrs. Fenderbosh,
Thank you. I move for passage of temporary ordinance number 26-58.
discussion.
And like in the past, the city engineer applied for funding through the Ohio Department of Transportation called ODOT for the Lake Road West Sidewalk Project, LOR-6-15.87. Ohio calls it PID number 119923. If this should pass, it authorizes the mayor to accept funding from ODOT in the amount of $133,676, and there is no emergency measure.
Any further discussion? Please call the roll.
Mrs. Fenderbosh?
Yes.
Mrs. Goodwin?
Yes.
Mr. Reynolds?
Yes.
Mr. Shamir?
Yes.
Mr. Smith?
Yes, that has passed. If the clerk would read by title only, ordinance number 26-59.
An ordinance authorizing the mayor to accept the Ohio Department of Transportation grant for the Lake Road West Sidewalk Project.
Mrs. Fenderbosh,
Thank you, Council President. I move for suspension of council's rule requiring 3 readings.
please call the roll.
Mrs. Fenderbosh? Mrs. Goodwin?
Yes.
Mr. Reynolds?
Yes.
Mr. Shamir?
Yes.
Mr. Smith?
Yes. Mrs. Fenderbosh,
Thank you, Council President. I move for passage of temporary ordinance number 26-59.
discussion.
Thank you. This is the last one of this packet. The city engineer applied for funding through the Ohio Department of Transportation called ODOT for the Lake Road West Sidewalk Project, LOR-6-15.87. Ohio calls it PID number 119923. If this should pass, it authorizes the mayor to accept funds in the amount of $135,900, and there is no emergency measure.
Thank you. Any further discussion? Mr. Liskovic, thank you for bringing these forward for us, for our attention, to get these matters resolved. All right, please call the roll.
Mrs. Fenderbosh?
Yes.
Mrs. Goodwin?
Yes.
Mr. Reynolds?
Yes.
Mr. Shamir?
Yes.
Mr. Smith?
Yes, that has passed.
Thank you.
If the clerk would read by title only, ordinance number 26-60.
An ordinance imposing a moratorium on future development of data centers in the city of Avon Lake and declaring an emergency.
Mr. Reynolds,
Thank you, Mr. Council President. I move for suspension of the rule requiring 3 readings.
please call the roll.
Mrs. Fenderbosh?
Yes.
Mrs. Goodwin?
Yes.
Mr. Reynolds?
Yes.
Mr. Shamir?
Yes.
Mr. Smith?
Yes. Mr. Reynolds,
I move for passage of ordinance number 26-60.
discussion, Mr. Reynolds.
Thank you, Mr. Council President. This is the 1-year moratorium that we have spoken about that will allow the city time to study, plan for, formulate, and draft reasonable and comprehensive regulations regarding data centers.
Any further discussion? Yes, Mrs. Fenderbosh.
I have a question for the law director. Mr.
ahead.
Ebert, thank you, Council President. Mr. Ebert, if the Planning Commission formulates a change and they have a description and they put into place guardrails for databases, for data centers, can the moratorium be shortened?
Council can always shorten modified ordinance. You know, it's up to council. Stays 1 year, but if you want to shorten it, absolutely.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, Mr. Shamir.
Yes, I think that the time frame was basically to allow the administration enough time to complete the economic development strategy and the data center impact analysis. And that's stipulated in section 4.
Yes, thank you. And we had further discussion about it last week in the collective committee meeting to rationalize why the 1 year was the appropriate time frame. Yes, Mr. Ebert.
Other cities have also gone with a 1-year plan around the surrounding areas, same issue.
That's fine, other cities do it, but this is Avon Lake, so.
Just making a comment as
Okay.
far as some of them develop as far as the situation.
All right, thank you. Any further discussion? Please call the roll.
Mrs. Fenderbosh?
Yes.
Mrs. Goodwin?
Yes.
Mr. Reynolds?
Yes.
Mr. Shamir?
Yes.
Mr. Smith?
Yes, that has passed. All right, next, if the clerk would read by title only, ordinance number 26-61.
An ordinance confirming the mayor's appointment of Stuart Levis as city engineer, establishing the rate of compensation for said position, and declaring an emergency.
Mr. Reynolds,
Thank you, Mr. Council President. I move for suspension of the rule requiring 3 readings.
please call the roll.
Mrs. Fenderbosh?
Yes.
Mrs. Goodwin?
Yes.
Mr. Reynolds?
Yes.
Mr. Shamir?
Yes.
Mr. Smith?
Yes. Mr. Reynolds,
I move for passage of ordinance number 26-61.
discussion.
Thank you. This is the ordinance that will confirm the appointment of our new engineer, Mr. Stuart Levis, and allow him to begin work tomorrow.
Very good. Thank you to the administration for getting us an engineer for the city, according to the charter. Any further discussion? Please call the roll.
Mrs. Fenderbosh?
Yes.
Mrs. Goodwin?
Yes.
Mr. Reynolds?
Yes.
Mr. Shamir?
Yes.
Mr. Smith?
Yes, thank you. Mr. Levis, welcome aboard. Congratulations, that has passed. Any miscellaneous business or announcements? Oh, Mr. Shamir.
Don't forget, July 3rd, there's a Dunkin' booth. I'm sitting there from 5:50 to 6:10, so it's for a good cause. It goes to Avon Lake City School Foundation, and it allows you to take your frustration out for whatever I've said during the period that I've said behind this. So just letting you know. Come on out, spend your money, get me in the water. Thanks.
Unfortunately, I cannot sit in the booth and be dunked, but I'll be there so that anybody that wants to take their frustrations out on me can certainly let me know while I'm there. All right. Seeing no other comments or questions, Mrs. Fenderbosh.
What would you like?
A motion to adjourn, please.
Oh, I'm sorry. You're gonna be here all night. I move to adjourn.
Thank you. Please call the roll.
Mrs. Fenderbosh?
Yes.
Mrs. Goodwin?
Yes.
Mr. Reynolds?
Yes.
Mr. Shamir?
Yes.
Mr. Smith?
Yes, our meeting is concluded. Thank you, everyone, for your attendance. It's appreciated. And have a great evening.